uniforms the entire season, but 3 games will give you with the best uniform. Those are the issues I have. The powder blue's out for the Chargers. That should be every game. The Miami Dolphins old uniforms that they throw it back to, that should be your uniform, not the trash you wear now. The Patriots, you ever see them throw back with a little football player in the helmet? It is beautiful, but let's keep the trash uniform.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Things you have to look at is what the team has the following day, especially when it comes to bullpen usage. You know, a lot of the things I like to attack is you see these extra inning games, these games get thrown out, these bullpens get worn, or if someone gets shelled the first 3 innings and they got to go to the pen, you know, early, you know, that's a good spot to kind of hop in the middle of the next game. You know, you got a tired bullpen, right? You try and take advantage there, maybe with an over, maybe with the money line. You're getting plus money on a favorite at that point.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Piece of an interesting couple of weeks in California, if you recall, just I think it was 2 weeks ago, language was inserted into a bill that would outlaw or ban sweepstakes casinos and sports betting, which of course we've seen lots of that happen this year. So California is an interesting market because, as you've said, there is no legal online casino, there is no legal online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Like Montreal, has a new coach. Like I might be the new coach of Montreal in 2 weeks. Like they have a new coach all the time, and they always have, oh yeah, we're playing a new system. They're like, they have a bunch of 20-year-old players and kids on the pitch. Anyone that's good, they sell and they trade for money all the time. Like it's a real disaster. But they hit a new low tonight, getting eliminated by the Forge.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
GameTime Decisions. We are live on SportsGrid with you here on a Monday night where the Home Run Derby takes center stage. Kevin Walsh here for the next 90 minutes as we get you ready for the big event in Major League Baseball tonight, which will feature 8 hitters trying to become the Home Run Derby champion. No one defending a title here. Last year's winner, Teoscar Hernandez, not in the field. In fact, it's a pretty fresh crop of guys that we get to break down here on this Monday. We have a ton of Home Run Derby predictions from you on this show, not just from myself, our crew. A couple of guests will stop by as well, give you their Home Run Derby winners. We're really, really excited to get into all of that. We will stop over on the WNBA slate, may even make room for some of the NBA Summer League if you want to expand things out a little bit tonight with your card. Of course, it is a lighter list of options with Major League Baseball currently in their All-Star break, but you can tell there's a lot of buzz for betting this Home Run Derby. Let's go through the odds, who's involved here tonight. Major League Baseball's home run leader at the break, Cal Raleigh, is the favorite. Currently right now, numbers are, again, fluctuating from book to book. Around 3-1, though, is your price for Cal Raleigh. O'Neal Cruz and James Wood would be the 2 hitters who appear to be viewed as in that Raleigh tier for tonight. O'Neal Cruz of the Pittsburgh Pirates, of course, James Wood of the Washington Nationals. James Wood having one of the most underrated or under-discussed seasons, it feels, in Major League Baseball this season. Just to give people a point of reference, take the opportunity while you can, but wins above replacement in the National League, removing pitchers. Pete Crow Armstrong, number 1. Shohei Ohtani, number 3. Right in the middle would be James Wood of the Washington Nationals. He's in our field tonight. Byron Buxton is going to be one of the most talked about names, a number that is dropping as we get closer and closer to the Home Run Derby beginning. Byron Buxton back home in Georgia. A lot of conversation about that. Speaking of home, Matt Olson fills in for his teammate Ronald Acuna Jr., who ultimately decided it was best for him. He had a back injury that had been flaring up. to step out. Matt Olson, they wanted Atlanta Brave in, steps in. The 10-1 or longer range is where you will find right now Junior Caminero of the Tampa Bay Rays, Brent Rooker of the Sacramento, if you would, Athletics, and then Jazz Chisholm rounding it out with the longest odds to win the Home Run Derby. So let's just figure this thing out. We'll start with what I believe the semifinals will be, and then what I believe is going to be your winner for tonight. I have 3 American Leaguers in the field for the semifinal. There's 5 American Leaguers and just 3 from the National League, which is leading me to bet, by the way, the American League to win the Home Run Derby at -122. I think that is a good bet because inside that crop is an extra hitter and the favorite in Cal Raleigh. And I expect Cal Raleigh to be in the Final Four. I expect Brent Rooker to be in the Final Four. I expect Byron Buxton to be in the Final Four. I do think James Wood is the best of the National League bunch, and he would round out what would be, if you put them all together, around an 8 or 9-1 parlay. I am not betting that parlay, but I am betting Cal Raleigh to win the Home Run Derby. I think his number should be a bit shorter. I think we're seeing in some areas a zag on Major League Baseball's home run leader. He is the only 30-plus home run guy in the field. The next closest home run total to Cal Raleigh's league best 38 of the other 7 players is 14. That is a sizable gap for a guy who has been smashing expectations all season long. And it feels to me like the only thing working right now for Cal Raleigh at the dish has been the home run swing. He has 5 hits in the month of July. All 5 of them have been home runs. I like Cal Raleigh. Again, you always want to shop around for the best of that number. We're seeing some plus 310 out there for Cal Raleigh. We, of course, know the numbers are on the move. Let's get to some of the picks here from our team and what they are bringing to the table. We'll start with Casino Chris, who's been really hot on this Home Run Derby. In his Final Four, Cal Raleigh, James Wood, Matt Olson, who is one of the few guys, again, who would have experience actually participating in a Home Run Derby before. And then Junior Caminero, the righty from Tampa Bay, not just in the Final Four for Chris, but his favorite pick of the options tonight. You see there a number that, again, moving from book to book, 11-1. We're seeing some 10-1, so maybe some Caminero love in the market right now. So try not to miss out on the best of these numbers. I'm sure there's a lot of profit boosts and different options out there. Yarnell steps up to the dish there with a National League heavy group. This would be nightmarish for me as someone betting the American League. All 3 National Leaguers make it with James Wood, O'Neal Cruz, and Matt Olson. He gets Junior Caminero into his Final Four, which, again, I know Chris will be happy to see. As far as a winner goes, though, for Sam, it is going to be James Wood, the low National Leaguer that I am putting into my Final Four. I certainly understand the vision. What jumps off the page there, Sam fading Cal Raleigh in his Final Four. Spoke to him before the show, and he is betting that 2-1 price on Raleigh to not be in the semifinal. I would be pretty surprised by that, obviously, as somebody betting Cal Raleigh to win it outright, but that is where it comes in for Sam right now. AJ steps up to the dish with a little bit of love for the NL, a little bit of love for the AL. Matt Olson and O'Neal Cruz in the mix. Jazz Chisholm, the lone person to pick Jazz Chisholm to make the Final Four is AJ. Byron Buxton at even money is in the fold. Byron Buxton, interestingly enough, has hit the longest home run of any player this season in this field. And Byron Buxton is AJ's pick to win the Home Run Derby. And again, that Byron Buxton number is moving a little bit across books. You see a 9-1 there. In some spots, I see as low as 7-1 now on Byron Buxton of Minnesota getting some love. And I mentioned the long home run that we've seen from Byron Buxton this season. I decided just a couple of lower shots that were worth playing, but Buxton's long home run number, 458.5. I'm playing that towards the over. I think there will, we're seeing a lot of the conversations about the home field nature for Buxton. I think those juices will be flowing. He could maybe have himself a big opening round, and then we get over that 458.5. And I'm also playing the low man in this market, which is Jazz Chisholm. I'm seeing a 436.5 number over on FanDuel for his longest home run. Chisholm has a home run longer than that within this regular season. I know a lot of people are fading Chisholm. The idea is no short porch here in Atlanta. Jazz Chisholm wouldn't step up to the plate, and if he didn't think he was going to be able to put out a couple of long ones. So Jazz Chisholm is someone that I think is worth getting involved with there. That's where I'm at with this home run derby. A couple of longer shots when you talk about, some long home runs. I do think it's going to be an American leaguer because for me, if it was down to two guys, I would be between either Cal Raleigh or Byron Buxton. But I'm going with the big dumper, the man at the top that I'm surprised isn't maybe a 2-1 favorite with this. 38 home runs in the regular season. We'll see what he brings to the table. Tonight we'll talk more home run derby, mix in a little basketball with you here on Game Time Decision.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Has to get right into the fold here because we have basketball to break down. If you are not involved with the home run derby, you're probably betting WNBA, and you are probably going to be betting some of the NBA Summer League actions here. But if I know JY, he'll probably find a way to get us a home run derby pick before we let him go. How are we feeling, JY?
What do you mean before we let him go? I'm coming out the box hot. I'm going with Byron Buxton. Now listen, to me, like you look at a guy like O'Neal Cruz, kind of hits the hardest balls in MLB. I'm worried about how he can handle all of that, right? Like the swinging too hard. Jazz Chisholm, short porch, right field, Yankee Stadium. I'm a little worried about that. Kyle Rowley's the favorite, can't take the favorite, right? Matt Olson from Georgia at home, but I don't think the Georgia boy that doesn't play for the Braves, Byron Buxton, to win the home run derby.
All right, little love for Byron Buxton there from JY. We did tell him we'd get him in the mix with a home run derby pick. Baseball JY, one of my favorites, so I appreciate the action there. JY, let me just quickly run over to this Mavericks-Hornets game just because it's going to get off the ground here. Does that one catch your eye at all? I think it's noteworthy at the minimum that we did see Cooper Flagg shut down by the Mavericks, the 31-point performance over the weekend. I guess they saw enough from the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, you generally see that, K-Dub, when a guy kind of goes off. And you, obviously, it's so funny because Kevin and I did, obviously, betting about the rim pro basketball today. If you're not listening, you better be listening. And we basically told you both that we were not concerned with the opening performance of Cooper Flagg struggling from the floor. He got the attempts. Hello, 31 points. You Nostradamus, Kevin Damas, Coach Damas, whatever you want to call us. We called that it was going down. Not shocked he shut it down. For me, Kevin, I'm not really looking much tonight. I'm looking at a team that I think may be the best team in Vegas, and that's the Celtics. They have guys like Shireman, Walsh. I look for teams that got like second-year guys. Obviously, the Gonzalez kids look pretty good so far. I look for teams that have more experienced guys that are more likely to play them, more like late first-round, second-round picks. Not like guys like Reed Shepherd who goes off 1 or 2 games and they shut him down. Look for second-round guys, late first-round guys that need more minutes. That's why I look at like the Celtics tonight versus the Heat.
Knippel will be back in the lineup, by the way, in that Mavericks-Hornets game for anybody who may be interested. Knippel played game 1, really struggled, but will be out there. Missed game 2, will play tonight, so I'm interested to see what we get out of Knippel. I think that game could go over that 174.5 that we have listed. So let's shift it over to the WNBA here, JY, because we have a game between the Sky and the Lynx where Minnesota is coming off of their 4th loss of the season, and it happened in this building to the Chicago Sky as a double-digit favorite. They gave up 87 points. Angel Reese scores 19 points, pairs that with 11 rebounds and 4 assists. Camila Cardoza, who was away a little bit from the international break, game number 1, maybe getting her legs under her. Game number 2, 17 and 15, couple of blocks as well. The Chicago Sky playing with a little bit more energy as the season goes on. They've paired together 2 straight wins. Still catching double digits, though, at home from the Lynx.
Well, listen, a shout out to Angel Reese, who has been better. But Angel Reese, after that game, had one of the wildest comments when he said that they are the best young core in the WNBA. And I was like, wait, what? Who? Y'all? But she's been better. I do like her to go under a rebounding prop, but my best bet is going to be Big Feast. The Feast Collier over 21.5 points, Kevin. Kevin, 7 out of 9 road games she's gone over it, 8 out of the last 10. And that 87-81 loss versus the Chicago Sky, it was some weird stuff going on. Cheryl Reeve, I think, got a tech at one point. I think we get a bounce back performance. I'm not going to lay the points, but one thing I'll look at, if I take anything, team total overtime for the Minnesota Lynx. They should be able to get up and over that number, even though they have not done so as of late.
I think the under 27.5 points plus rebounds for Reese is worth a look because I think in the incredible run that she was on, I think it's just partly because of how the W is covered, and I'm not taking any credit away from Reese, by the way, to be clear, but some of that was out of necessity because of Camila Cardoza being absent. What Angel Reese needs to do without Camila Cardoza was drafted, Coach and I talk about this, 3rd overall in the same draft as Angel Reese by the same exact team who took Angel Reese 7th. Cardoza is, for the Chicago Sky, they believe, as important to their future as Reese. I say that because that has to do with usage, available rebounds. Really simple. In the 4 games that Reese played without Camila Cardoza, she averaged 19.8 points and 16.5 rebounds. Her lowest points rebound tally in those 4 games was 33. Again, that is a ridiculous run. In the 16 games she's played with Camila Cardoza, it's 12 points and 11.8 rebounds. In 10 of the 16 games, she would be under 27.5 points rebounds. So for me, as somebody who's almost mad at himself for not appropriately adjusting to the Cardoza absence and running to the window with consistency, I am at least trying to catch some of the unders on Reese before that market connection. I will say, though, JY, the most important number for me on Angel Reese in this recent run, I think you'll agree. I don't care about the rebounds. The assists are great. That field goal percentage, that's what we need to see from Angel Reese to be an all-star level player, which she has now been for more of this season than she's not been.
Yeah, I think that, listen, the ability to knock down shots around her is key. And now, Kevin, when she gets some of those old boards, she's just not throwing it up at the basket. You know and I know it. The most dangerous shot in basketball is a kick-out three. Really quick, because there's one other game.
We'll get to it, JY, unless you have to run.
Okay. Yep.
Go. Yeah, we'll because it's a really interesting game. And just to Coach's point, within that stretch, she's averaging, only 3.9 offensive rebounds a game. Why? 51% from the floor. You are seeing that ability, and Coach has talked about this so much, and through that coach's lens of the control, the patience of it, and I think you're starting to see that a little bit more. We're taking a break. JY, remind people again, who's the home run derby pick?
Oh, Byron Buxton all day, every day. I'm taking him.
We'll keep a tally for everybody. So we have one Cal Raleigh, one Caminero, one James Wood, and there are two Byron Buxtons now on the board. We'll talk a little more hoops with JY after a quick break with you. It's Game Time Decisions on SportsGrid.
New to casinos and not sure what to play? Well, try blackjack first. It has a lower house advantage compared to other table games, making it especially player-friendly. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
They're still trying to throw Dalton Knecht's name in trades, and I don't even know if he's viewed as a positive asset still.
And that's a crazy thing. Dalton Knecht, if you look at FanDuel, Dalton Knecht 20-plus points at plus 120. He's giving you no indication that he's that right there. I mean, Kevin, I would be more likely if we knew we were going to get the minutes. Bronny James, 10-plus points at plus 118.
Game Time Decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Live with you on Game Time Decisions. It is Home Run Derby night here, of course, on SportsGrid. We have a running tally going right now. We have 5 different home run, or 5 people have given us their Derby winner, including, of course, Coach James Young. 2 for Buxton, Cal Raleigh, James Wood, and Junior Caminero. I wonder how many will be left out by the time our show does close. We have Coach with us, though, allowing the opportunity to get you set if you are going to bet tonight outside of the Derby, right, or on top of the Derby. For game number 1, remind people, JY, Sky Links, what's your pick in that game?
Yeah, I'm going to go Big Fish. And Fish Collier over 21.5 points. I will look at the team total over as well for the Minnesota Lynx. Remember, they lost that last game. But the real game is game number 2. Two teams that have really far exceeded expectations so far this season.
Yeah, let's get right into it here. We've got the Valkyries and the Mercury. And for Golden State to be 10-10 through their first 20, I think is more impressive than Phoenix being 14-6. And that's not a slight to Phoenix. This Valkyries team at home as a favorite. Now, part of that is because Alyssa Thomas tonight will be without her two main running mates in Kalia Copper and Satu Sabali. So what do you like, JY, in Golden State Phoenix?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Alyssa Thomas. Going to double. Listen, Kevin, 15.3, 7.5, 9.5, right? She's missed out on double-doubles 5 of the last 6 games. But every one of those contests, she's got to at least 8 or more. I know it's a lot of juice, but I'm going to take Alyssa Thomas to go over that because of no Satu Sabali and no Kalia Copper. The one that's interesting is Sammy Wickham. And shop around, I've seen 12.5, I've seen 11.5. Sammy Wickham, Kata, may have the quickest release in the WNBA. Like literally, it's lightning quick. She's gone over 6 out of her last 8 games. Like I said, no Copper, no Sabali, so I need someone who can make shots. There's another guard I think may be out as well. But the other part is the fact that she has a 36-point game 2 games ago versus Dallas. She can get hotter than fish grease. I know that if you're a Golden State, and what a job, she should be right now the coach of the year, Kata, let's be honest. That team was at 8.5 wins before the season. Then it went to 11.5, then to 15.5, then to 18.5, and now they're minus money to make the playoffs, and they almost beat, obviously, the Aces 2 nights ago. Give me, today on the other side, Sammy Wickham over a points prop.
Not bad. I actually like Golden State's team total over in that game. I can't get there enough to just lay the 2.5 with them, but getting back home after a pretty long road trip for a team with an incredible home court advantage. They're 7-3 at home this season. I think the Valkyries' offense is there tonight. I'm playing over that 80.5. JY, before we let you go, bigger story today. LeBron James congratulating some members of the Cleveland executive room on some extensions, or the Bleacher Report top 100 that incorrectly had LeBron James as only the second greatest player in the history of basketball?
I say the second, and yes, I do think LeBron is second, unless he comes to the Knicks and wins a championship, and I'll put him number 1. But it was some of the wildest. I think Kobe was outside the top 10. It was kind of weird, their Bleacher Report rankings. But really quick before I go, we talked about this at the end of Betting Above the Rim Pro Basketball today, and I said Caitlin Clark had to change her game. 14 points, 13 assists yesterday versus Dallas. I'm telling you right now, I'm going back to it. I probably won't be on tomorrow because Coach has got to do dad duties and go to a swim meet. But tomorrow, Caitlin Clark over 8.5 assists over 4 of the last 5 games. Dallas gives up the most assists per game. Guess who's 2? That's Connecticut. Caitlin Clark over 8.5 assists. And Sonia Citron over 12.5 points. Kevin, this kid's been dynamic. If it wasn't for Paige Beckers, this kid would be running away for Rookie of the Year. Over 7 of the last 10 games, 8 out of 10 on the road. That's big for a rookie versus an LA Sparks team that does not play a lot of defense.
We don't have enough time to get all the way into it, though, but JY, I understand you want her to pass a ton. The Caitlin Clark's efficiency numbers at some point have to be a little concerning, no?
From 3, they're absolutely concerning. But my thing is this. In order to get her more going for her shot, I think you play through other people. And now those 30-foot threes are now 25-foot, 23-foot threes, and those are like layups. I just think they're more dynamic if more people involved scoring because it makes them harder to guard once it gets to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that it is great to get others involved. I think, though, the best version of this team is the one where she is a 20-plus point per game scorer. And that means that Caitlin Clark can't have a 6-game run where she shoots at 14% 3. JY, you're the man. We appreciate it. More home run derby coverage next on SportsGrid.
New to casinos and not sure what to play? Well, try Blackjack first. It has a lower house advantage compared to other table games, making it especially player-friendly. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Pages. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
They're still trying to throw Dalton Connect's name in trades, and I don't even know if he's viewed as a positive asset still.
And that's a crazy thing. Dalton Connect, if you look at FanDuel, Dalton Connect 20-plus points at plus 120. He's giving you no indication that he's that right there. I mean, Kevin, I would be more likely if we knew we were going to get the minutes. Bronny James, 10-plus points at plus 118.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle. But as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Live with you here. It is SportsGrid Game Time Decisions. Kevin Walsh on this Monday night. We've got a lot to get into here because the Home Run Derby is fast approaching. We're keeping our eyes on this market. Any big moves? The Cal Raleigh number continues to tick back a little bit. That Byron Buxton number growing just a little bit shorter. Again, as we get closer to the Home Run Derby, an hour away from, I guess, the options coming off of the board. I'm sure we'll have loads of pageantry that no one is really hoping for. Maybe do that at 7:45. I think we would appreciate it a little bit. Let's get Andrew Cali in the mix here. Joins us to talk some Major League Baseball from time to time. And we wanted to get as many of these home run derby picks for the people on the board, Andrew. So who are you betting in the outright market for the 2025 home run derby?
Well, you mentioned him right now, Byron Buxton, and that number's getting shorter. I got him at plus 850. It was plus 900 this morning. If you can still get it plus 900, go for it. He has easy power. He's healthy. That's a great thing for him. When he's healthy, his ceiling is, or at least it was, best player in baseball. And he's got one of the prettier swings in the Derby, something like I feel is like a really repeatable thing in a Derby, which is really important. He also has the familiarity with his, I believe it's his third base coach, who's actually been with him since the minor leagues in 2013. So really comfortable there. The big stat that jumps out for Buxton is no doubter percentage. So that is the percentage of home runs they've hit this season that would have gone out in all 30 ballparks. His percentage number is 76.2%. That is the highest in the field by far. The next closest is O'Neal Cruz at 68.8%. But say Cal Raleigh, he's just at 42.1%. And the bottom is Matt Olson at 23.5%. So he is hitting a lot of deep dingers, and it's just a really repeatable thing for him, I think. Really like him in that spot. Another guy I'm on the market for is James Wood at plus 450. He checks a lot of those boxes as well. Easy power. He also has the youth thing going. Like we've seen in the new era of the home run derby that endurance is a real thing because guys have gas. Like they'll go and hit a ton of bombs in the first round and then they'll gas out. Young guy, and he's obviously, you've seen a lot of videos of him practicing, so hopefully he's in like a good mental spot for that. He also has the longest average home run this year at 411 feet. He's just been, he's 97th percentile or better in like average exit velocity, barrel percentage, and hard hit percentage. So I really like that for him as well. He just checked all the boxes for me in the outright market.
Yeah, James Wood is one of the guys, like, it's been public. Oh, he has been practicing. And there is a stigma around the Derby that can mess up your swing. Well, James Wood, 1 for 15 in his last 15 at-bats in the regular season, with the one hit being a home run. Didn't even play on the Sunday. So Nats fans, one, maybe he got the messing up his swing out of the way, and he can win it tonight, or you better hope he wins tonight and James Wood's career's over. It's probably the first one. There's always a number of props, Andrew, that we can get involved with here. Longest home run is one that I feel I only really was like, I got to get involved when they were at Coors. But it's up every year. So what are you doing with that one?
We're going under because it's at 479.5 feet. And that's just a really, really long way to hit a baseball. The longest home run hit in season by anyone in this field is by Byron Buxton, and that was 479 feet. The longest home run overall this season was 484 feet, and that's by Mike Trout. Obviously, the Derby is a little bit of a different situation, but last year's champion, Teoscar Hernandez, his average home run was just 429 feet. And outside of the Moonshot Derby at Coors Field in 2021, there have only been 4 home runs hit of 500 feet or more in the StatCast era, which was started in 2016. And Aaron Judge hit all of them. I don't think he's in this one right now. And I think it was Miami when he did that one. Most recent long one was by Lewis Robert in 2022. That was 484. So it's just really hard. It's really hard to hit baseballs that far, even on a home run derby. So I like the under here. If there is one guy who could do it, it's probably O'Neal Cruz, because he's the guy. He leads in barrel rate and hard hit percentage and average exit velocity. His biggest problem is hitting the baseball during a game, but he should do pretty well in a home run derby. So I like him. You get him at plus money, plus 170. I've seen it as high as. I like that. Don't hate Buxton in that spot either. I think you get him at 3 or 4 to 1. But it's Cruz who has the most natural power, I would say, in this one. And if he could hit one, but overall, I think we can cash both bets. He can hit one like 470 and it'll still cash both if we go under the 479.5. So it's just, like I said, it's just really hard to hit baseballs that far.
It absolutely is. I love the Aaron Judge line. Let me ask you on O'Neal Cruz, because I was going through the guys in the field, right? And it's like, oh, he's young, he hits it far. And I found myself just like, he might just tire himself out trying to hit one like 500. Like, that was why I stayed away from O'Neal Cruz. I wonder if it was similar for you.
Yeah, even with a guy, I couldn't find much on who is throwing him the baseball. I think it is his hitting coach, but he just has such a big hole in his swing. And like I'd like to think that it would not translate to somebody throwing meatballs during a batting practice home run derby, but like you said, he just tries to like swing out of his shoes so often. Like, he's got so much torque. Like, that is the type of swing that can get wonky quickly. And if he starts missing a couple, then he could start pressing. I'm the only, like you said, he could get into one. So that's why I have him in that longest home run market. But other than that, I stayed away from him.
All right, Andrew, before we let you get out of here, have you already put your eye on the All-Star game for tomorrow? Are you going to get involved with that one?
Yeah, probably. I'll probably go under, because that's the way it's been going in All-Star games recently. I found the pitching has been the best part of the game in recent years, so I'll probably stick to the under. MVP markets. A guy I work with, his name's Josh Ingles. He's got great angles in that, looking at reserve outfielders who are going to come in. And the way that they manage these games is that they pull those starters out pretty quickly. And then it's actually the guys who come in second who could get a couple more at bats and more meaningful situations. So maybe look at reserve outfields. I'm going to plug my guy, Alejandro Kirk from the Toronto Blue Jays. You can get him to win All-Star Game MVP at 80 to 1. I expect Cal Raleigh to only get like 2 at bats. And then you put Kirk in that he's the backup catcher for the American League. You put him in that 4 hole for the American League, and he can get a couple RBIs, and he hits the ball so very, very well. Not many people outside of Toronto know that, but he is one of the best bat-to-ball guys in baseball right now.
Yeah, that's it's a good angle. We were looking at it a little before the show. Probably not since the Trout back-to-back, where you felt like the top-of-the-line stars were winning this. We'll see how it all shakes out. Andrew Cayley helping us out here. We appreciate it. Best of luck with the Derby tonight.
Thanks. Good luck with all your bets.
All right, great stuff as always there from Andrew. You know, one thing I knew they were going to have available in the All-Star game markets, and I don't know if I was rooting for good value or bad value, because if it's good value, we're in the mix. But if it's bad value, then maybe we can avoid, going crazy. Skiing Schoolball, 6 strikeouts first inning, 100-1. Is that crazy? I don't know. It doesn't feel that crazy. Maybe it's crazy. Maybe it's crazy. I'm interested. I'm a little interested. Skeens is 10-1 for 3 Ks. Schoolball's 9-1. To combine for 3 strikeouts, -150. I just strike out this whole thing. We'll keep our eyes peeled. That's for tomorrow. We'll talk more Derby. Quick break with you right here on a Monday night.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Pages. Let's get lucky.
Countdown to the Derby is still on, and we're going to keep getting a little bit of help here. Rob Donaldson stops by to help us go through his home run Derby action. And Rob and I were talking a little bit during the break, and, maybe not just finding value, but some legitimate disagreements with how the books are approaching. And I'm sure some of that is the books being pushed by bettors in some different ways. There are 2 guys that I know are jumping off of the board for you, Rob. Tell me how you're going to attack the home run derby.
Hey, what I like when I look at the home run derby participants aren't the guys that, quote unquote, pimp the home run ball or pose for the camera with a long, kind of exaggerated follow through motion. I want the dudes who are short, compact, quick, but have enough kind of exo velo and that launch angle to get the ball over the fence when they're playing against a slow pitch scenario. And the two guys that come to mind immediately for me in that regard are Byron Buxton and Brent Rooker. And 9.5 to 1, 10 to 1 out there for both guys. And honestly, if I were to drop just kind of a hierarchy of who I think could win this thing, they would be both in my top 3. So remove the odds value. I think they just have a really good chance to win this thing. And yeah, you're getting the value on top of it here.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be the exciting thing for a bettor when you see a 10 to 1 is 650 and like, whoa. And I will say this, I don't know if this ever happens for you, Rob, but there are occasionally where these things can play tricks on your mind where, let's take Buxton. If Buxton was the favorite, someone who thinks he should be the favorite, they're like, I knew it. This is the guy. It should be shorter, where they're like, 650. Wow, maybe I'm a little too excited, but you're clearly going to attack these guys. Are there any other angles that you're using to back these guys aside from the outright market?
I look at Cal Raleigh, and I think 3 to 1 out there for Cal Raleigh is a really nice number if you do want like a fail safe, because you can throw a little bit of a flyer out on Rooker and Buxton at these more long shot prices, but a 3 to 1 payer could get you just your money back in the event that Cal Raleigh does what I think a lot of people expect him to do, which is hit more bombs. And so, I get it. Betting 3 people in a home run derby, maybe that's like DGen status to the max, but I actually think that's a really good strategy here, especially when you have 2 guys who are 9.5 to 1 and 10 to 1 your money, just kind of in a really good spot, I think, to win this thing outright.
Yeah, I think this is one of those spots where Raleigh, I believe, gets to go last, and I think that could be one of the things that really does work in his favor, and at least just, survive and advance kind of style here. Were there any bets outside for you, Rob, outside of the outright market worth getting involved with for the home run derby?
Not too much, because at the end of the day, it is the home run derby, and I don't want to be overly invested in it in terms of like reaching the semifinals or most home run balls hit. I totally could see an angle at that, but I think when you're getting these set prices and the lowest being, 3 to 1, the highest being like an 11 to 1 payer, that's a really good shot when you are looking at a kind of a more limited field when everybody really has a chance in this thing.
Yeah, I think that is fair. And I would say, and I think people know this, but if you're going to get involved with the home run derby, if you have a great angle, awesome. But if you're betting Jazz Chisholm over the 436.5 like I am, do it lightly. Do it lightly. I'll ask you, Rob, before we let you get out of here, have you put your eye on the All-Star game for tomorrow yet? And if so, did anything stand out?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on a line for Randy Arozarena to potentially win the MVP. I mean, just since the turn of into July, he has 9 home run balls, and usually the MVP of that game, because it's so low scoring, is going to be defined by a home run hit at some point. And if a runner's on for Randy A, he's lived for the moment before. I think he could go yard again. And I also look at Paul Skeens. I think he's going to be phenomenal, but I do think he gives up a hit against the top 3 of that order. So maybe to look at his over on hits allowed here.
Yeah, I find, I don't know, like every time we get to the All-Star game round, I'm like, you know what? Let's bet an over. And then I'm like, why did I do that? So, I don't know. Maybe I'll zag. Maybe I'll look for some pitching options. But Rob Donaldson, I appreciate it. Buxton and Rooker tonight. We'll root it in.
Sounds good, man. Best of luck to you.
All right, great stuff there from Rob Donaldson. So just kind of to reset what we've seen so far, a lot of Byron Buxton love. Rob, Andrew, Coach, AJ, that's 4 guys with the Buxton tally. Rob first one to throw out Rooker. We've seen a couple of James Wood shout-outs as well. I almost wonder if my Cal Raleigh pick was like, let me make sure that someone on the show takes Cal Raleigh kind of thing. Like, where they do like the big, 12 people pick an outright winner on a Monday night game with a 10-point spread. And then there's one person who falls on the sword. They're like, you know what? I'll take the Titans. Maybe it's kind of the inverse. I'll take Cal Raleigh kind of situation. No one else on the Junior Caminero train on this show for Casino Chris, who I know is very locked in and ready and excited for the Junior Caminero train tonight. Don't be scared to tweet at SportsGrid your picks for tonight's Home Run Derby, and make sure you are following SportsGrid, of course, on all social accounts. I will remind everyone as well, we've talked a little WNBA already on our show tonight, and I'm going to play Angel Reese under her 27.5 points plus rebounds. It is simply a fade of what is available for Angel Reese when Camila Cardozo is out versus when Camila Cardozo is in. Camila went and played with Brazil for the national team for, about a 2 or so week stretch. And that led to a 4-game window where Angel Reese was averaging 20 points and 16.5 rebounds. Unbelievable. In the 16 games that she's played with Camila in the lineup, just averaging 12 and 12. Still fantastic, but under what is the 27.5. And I think the run that Cardozo's on, or Reese is on, is more likely to see her, 15 and 12 maybe, because I think the rebounding is still great, right, on average. But 27.5 tonight, I think a little bit too high. Golden State Valkyries also over the 80.5. Last 7 home games, they've gone over that number in 5 of the 7, averaging 84.4 points per game at home in that time span. So I'm going to back Golden State. We'll take a quick break. Be back with you. It's Game Time Decisions live on SportsGrid.
New to casinos and not sure what to play? Well, try Blackjack first. It has a lower house advantage compared to other table games, making it especially player-friendly. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
They're still trying to throw Dalton Connect's name in trades, and I don't even know if he's viewed as a positive asset still.
And that's a crazy thing. Dalton Connect, if you look at FanDuel, Dalton Connect 20-plus points at plus 120. He's giving you no indication that he's that right there. I mean, Kevin, I would be more likely if we knew we were going to get the minutes. Bronny James, 10-plus points at plus 118.
Game Time Decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Game Time Decisions with you here on a Monday night. And just to play catch up in a couple of areas, as we are, of course, with you, focused on the Home Run Derby. There was a couple of wide receivers making headlines today around the National Football League. One getting exactly what he wants, and one maybe pointing to the other, being like, something like that would be ideal. Garrett Wilson landed a 4-year, $130 million extension with the New York Jets. Juwan Jennings wants a new deal from the San Francisco 49ers or a trade. What I will say for Garrett Wilson is, and for the New York Jets, really, nice to get it done right away. Don't end up in the Jamar Chase of it all, Myles Garrett of it all, Micah Parsons of it all. At the end of the day, has Garrett Wilson lived up to expectations? 3 seasons, 1,000 yards in all 3 of them. 14 total touchdowns. I mean, he's not the best receiver in football. We recently talked about, some top 10 wide receivers. He's not in my list. He's an honorable mention. I think he's still one of the first 15 names I'd give you. I think that Garrett Wilson's been in he's not been in the most favorable situations yet. Now, here's the reality. Is that really changing this year? I would not say so. But I think that's why this is a deal that gets done. It takes away some of the guesswork and uncomfortability that really was born out of that Aaron Rodgers situation. At the end of the day, Rodgers came in, sung the praises of Garrett Wilson forever and ever. And it was immediately gone due to that torn Achilles. It was an unfortunate situation. And Garrett Wilson, who thought he was going to be able to take this big-time year 2 leap because he was going to be playing with Aaron Rodgers, ended up with another 12 games as Zach Wilson. But then, okay, boom, Rodgers is here. We're set. We're ready to rock. Let's get it going. And the next thing you know, Davante Adams ends up on your football team for 11 games. How's that happen? What's going on here? That wasn't in the cards. That wasn't how this was supposed to be. And if you are under the impression, how much did, the inclusion of Davante Adams change things? In week 5 against Minnesota, Garrett Wilson had a 23-target game. 23-target game. It mattered. It made a difference. And I'm not saying that Garrett Wilson should have 23 targets, but that doesn't happen if Davante Adams is or is not on that football team. So I think really for Garrett Wilson and for the Jets, they find themselves in a good situation now together, right? I don't know if either are in a great situation for the long term, because I'm not sure I'm all the way there on Justin Fields. For Juwan Jennings, it's a really interesting situation, right? Juwan Jennings last year in the regular season had some high-level games that you typically wouldn't expect. Earlier in the year, he had 11 catches for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns against the LA Rams. Middle of the season, 10 grabs, 91 yards, and a touchdown. A little bit later on in the season, he had, 90 yards, 2 scores against Chicago. It was a nice year for Juwan Jennings. I think for Juwan Jennings, he's probably uncertain. Is that going to continue to trend up, or how's that all work? Juwan Jennings last year nearly matched his prior 3-season total, and that was a 45-game sample size, so it wasn't small. The difficult thing for Juwan Jennings, and for, figuring out is now the time to be paid, the 49ers skill room, right? It's almost superstar by committee. They used to have a pillar, it felt like, everywhere you look, and you knew, it was like, how are we going to stop these guys? Where now it's more, Juwan Jennings could be pretty good at any given game. We think Ricky Pearsall, who we spent a first-round pick on, could be good at any given game. Christian McCaffrey, when he's out there, can be good in any given game. George Kittle has still an argument for best tight end in football. And, he can give us these explosion outcomes. But for Juwan Jennings, again, you look around, it is likely to still be, he will as frequently have less than, under 40 yards as he would have 80-plus yards, right? So wanting to try and cash in on some nice stuff from this past season makes sense. For him, if you're San Francisco, and you paid Ayuk, and you drafted Pearsall, does paying Juwan Jennings make a ton of sense? I don't think it does. It depends, I guess, maybe what Juwan Jennings wants. But this now feels like one to watch, because if I was San Francisco, I'm not really trying to lose Juwan Jennings, where I have a lot more question marks in my skill position room than usual. We'll get into some of this with Tom Vecchio, as well as the Home Run Derby next.
New to casinos and not sure what to play? Well, try Blackjack first. It has a lower house advantage compared to other table games, making it especially player-friendly. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
They're still trying to throw Dalton Knecht's name in trades, and I don't even know if he's viewed as a positive asset still.
And that's a crazy thing. Dalton Knecht, if you look at FanDuel, Dalton Knecht 20-plus points at plus 120. He's giving you no indication that he's that right there. I mean, Kevin, I would be more likely if we knew we were going to get the minutes. Bronny James, 10-plus points at plus 118.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions with you here on SportsGrid. I'm Kevin Walsh. We have a half hour to go until In-Game Live takes over with their coverage for the Home Run Derby. We've had a couple of picks put on the board. We're going to look to put a couple more on with the help of Tom Vecchio. Tom, always good to have you stop by here. We'll probably get into a few different things with Tom around. Basically, he's now customary. But we'll start with the Home Run Derby. Tom, what are you getting into?
I like Brent Rooker at 10-1 to win. I also position on him to make the semifinals at plus 128. I have yet to pull the trigger on Brent Rooker over 18.5 home runs in the first round. I see this, the home run derby, that is largely like the 3-point contest where if a player, were to advance into the second round, he's going to need to have a lot of home runs. So if I like him to win and I like him to make the semis, I should be liking him to go over 18.5. And the position on Rooker is not some breaking down his exit velo, barrel rate or any of these sorts of things. It's really just the position on the play where I don't like the numbers for O'Neal Cruz and James Wood. I think they're where they should be. I just don't think the entirety of the chalk will come through, and I'm just taking a little bit of a longer shot.
So what would your final four be, Tom, right? Like we've gone through it here on the show for some of the guys. We'll re-rack these at the end. It doesn't necessarily mean I don't think Cal Raleigh at minus 235 is worth betting to make the final four, but I think he's in my final four. Who do you think is in the final four tonight?
Well, first off, Buxton last week when this got announced, he was up at 9.5 to 1. He's down to 6.5 to 1. So, credit to us for identifying that early. But I would say my final four would be, obviously I want to see Rooker, Cal Raleigh, Buxton, and then one of Cruz and Wood. It's not going to be both of them.
All right, but if you had to pick one, just for the sake of the show.
I would go with O'Neal Cruz, higher exit velocity.
Okay.
Also, I know not picking Wood will kind of make Sam mad.
All right, there you go. I'm not mad at that. Now, the interesting thing is, you mentioned not loving the prices on Cruz and Wood.
Yeah.
I essentially, from capping this through a numbers thing, I think their prices were part of the reason I ended up betting Cal Raleigh.
Okay.
I feel like the guy who has 38 home runs when the next closest home run total in the field is 24, who has been one of the stories of Major League Baseball through the first half of the season, who made the decision to show up here. If you really look at it, in terms of caliber of season the guys are having, Cal Raleigh being here is an outlier as well. So I think that shows that he really obviously, I'm not saying everyone doesn't want to win, but like it's an extra level of elite for Cal Raleigh to be here. I thought him not being underneath like 250 made him worth a wager relative to the rest of this field.
I can totally understand that line of thinking. When if you actually just look at it just from a raw number perspective, like he's a step ahead of everyone by like maybe more than a step ahead. It's not just like, oh, he's the leader of the league. He has like, it's like, no. He is out in front. He deserves to be the favorite. And like you said, like you could 2-1. I would like if we saw 2-1, I wouldn't be shocked. So if you were saying I'm buying into that and therefore I'm getting plus 320 wherever you got it, I think that's totally fine.
I think that's all. Yeah. If this number was 2-1, I'm like, I can't really get involved at a price like that. I found myself interested in Bucks, and it did lead me to playing American League to win this at minus 122. I also think just having 5 guys instead of 3. You have 5 guys instead of 3 and the favorite. I think they should be bigger than minus 122.
That's what I was thinking about that before. Like if you just do the math, like again, this is just very high level, very simple stuff. There are 3 NL players, and so we're saying that 3 out of the 4, or excuse me, all 3 of them are going to make the finals. And if you get to a certain point, because we got to remember, just to clarify the format, it's all 8 hit, top 4 advance, and then it's a bracket into the final. So you could literally be in a spot to cash this almost if we get to the semifinals, if all 4 4 of the 5 AL make it, and then as long as we have one of the AL advance, you could be in a spot. I'm locked up at a certain point.
Yeah, it's a interesting way to put it, right? Like if they get 2 of those spots, that's a 66% advance rate, which is I like that. Makes me like my bet a little bit more. Are you playing any of the other stuff? Longest home run, anything?
I'll say this. I saw just some tweets and screenshots earlier because on FanDuel at least you can parlay up to 4 players to make the semis. Like you can just parlay 4 who you think to make it. I think that's a terrible idea. I really do. Because at a certain point, those players are going to knock each other out, and there's negative correlation there, so don't make that. A part of me, in a last ditch, almost wants to take the under on every single longest distance, as Donnie was talking about this morning on the early line. If you just take the under on everyone, or 4 players, you just need 3 of the 4 to come through to be profitable. Like, having the longest home run doesn't win you the event. Having a lot of home runs wins you the event.
I wanted to do something similar, but I didn't know really the best way to go about it. A first swing to be a home run.
I would just say no on all those. Like my gut instinct is literally just to say no on every single one of them. And then if you look below that, it says number of pitches thrown for first home run. Why would you not just take the first instance of plus money on just a very small play on the first instance? So 3 or 4 for all of them. Like that just seemed like the way to go about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you you could round robin it if you want. Just put them all in there, all 8 of the no's.
Sure.
But again, like here's the thing, and this is real. Is that something that you really want to do with a home run derby? You trying to get that involved?
I said this, to Ben and Donnie this morning, like you are going to get, like, not you, but the proverbial you, like you're going to get out of this what you want to put into it. If you just want to be like, listen, I'm taking 2 long shots. I'm just taking 2 outrights. I say not long shots. I'm taking 2 outrights. That's all I'm having. Just want to have some action in. I want to have some fun. Totally fine. If you want to dig into player specifics and I have Brent Rooker to win, Brent Rooker to advance to semis. I could have a piece of him to go over his first and half and take all these extra props. Like you're going to get out of it what you want. So if you want to have action across the board, you can do so. But I would say do that at a lower unit size, or just keep it simple and say I have these 2 player outrights and that's it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of fun things I like. Buxton long home run over, Chisholm long home run over, and look, some of those are. Look, it's a home run derby. We're having a little bit of fun with it. Both guys. Long home run so far at this point in the year is longer than the prop that's being listed. I believe they are the only 2 guys that is true of. That's how I got there,
Simple.
And that's kind of what we're doing here with the home run derby. Let me ask you, Tom, because we're going to talk a little football, a little hoops. Are you looking yet to tomorrow's All-Star game?
Like I said, Ellie De La Cruz 35-1 to win MVP. In terms of the total or the side, I haven't made a play on that. I know I can already see tomorrow people are going to be like, oh, the AL has won 10 out of the last 15 games, I'm on the AL money line. And when they win, they're going to be like, oh, see, that's the trend. Like, that's irrelevant information. When Justin Verlander was starting 10 years ago is irrelevant information for today, right?
All right.
When Derek Jeter and A-Rod were still playing, irrelevant information for today. So I don't have a position on the side. I may take a point on the total, and it'll probably be an under and then a live over.
Let me ask you, do you think there's a world that Scooball and Skeens go beyond, either one of them could go beyond the first inning? Like, is that allowed?
I mean, it's allowed. I would say, I thought the question was asked, would either or both of them go beyond the second? And I would say absolutely not. Beyond the first, sure, I could buy into that, but I think realistically, no.
Well, yeah. I still find myself, we're talking about, I'm one of 6 strikeouts, 3 up, 3 down, 3 strike out the sides, or 2 strike out the sides, 101. 101. Does that move you at all?
I mean, I think players are going to be out there swinging.
Maybe. All right. You might be interested. Combined for 4Ks, 260 plus 260. Skeen Scooball.
4Ks. Then we can have that conversation. Yeah.
All right. Minus 150 for 3. Little umbrella. Cover up the rest of it.
Yeah.
Let's figure out a Juwan Jennings landing spot with Tom Vecchio next.
New to casinos and not sure what to play? Well, try blackjack first. It has a lower house advantage compared to other table games, making it especially player-friendly. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, is he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
They're still trying to throw Dalton Knecht's name in trades, and I don't even know if he's viewed as a positive asset still.
And that's a crazy thing. Dalton Knecht, if you look at FanDuel, Dalton Knecht 20-plus points at plus 120. He's giving you no indication that he's that right there. I mean, Kevin, I would be more likely if we knew we were going to get the minutes. Bronny James, 10-plus points at plus 118.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Right here on this Monday night, we've got near halftime coming up here between Charlotte and Dallas in the NBA Summer League. That game is playing towards the under right now. Live total checks in at 155 and a half. I don't know if we're doing Con Knipple panic. He's just not doing much of anything. 1 of 2 so far from the field in that game. Ryan Kalkbrenner, not really stuffing the stat sheet, but then again, the game's an under. So who really is? We've got Tom Vecchio with us here. We're hitting some of the other standout options. Potentially could a Juwan Jennings move some numbers. That maybe would depend on the team he lands on. Tom, is there a team that jumps off the page a little bit to you when you think about a Juwan Jennings landing spot?
Well, ultimately, I think the 49ers should want him to stay. Now, you were talking about his stats, obviously, in the previous segment before I hopped on. Like, those stats, I want to say, are obviously very skewed just because so many of those games happened when Brandon Ayuk wasn't playing. So there was just very clear opportunity for Juwan Jennings to be the dominant target share guy in that offense. And I don't believe that's the role he will end up playing. It'll be a very flat distribution between him, Pearsall, when Ayuk comes back, McCaffrey in the backfield, and George Kittle. So I don't think he would replicate his numbers, as you were alluding to, as those numbers equaled and exceeded what he did in the last 3 years combined. At like a quick glance, I don't mind him going to Denver. Like, Courtland Sutton's great, but we got to stop with this Marvin Mims, like, is a good receiver besides just a couple of, like, trick plays type of thing. Like, he has to put it together at a full. Mims and Vele, I do not think are consistent receivers. Juwan Jennings playing a secondary role behind Sutton, that's a role he could fall into. They added Evan Ingram in the offseason. That could be a good offense for Bo Nix.
Yeah, I think there's a couple teams in the AFC who probably would stand out, right? Like, you know, if you're Buffalo, I'm sure if there's a wide receiver's name who gets mentioned, you're going to take a look, right?
Okay.
I would imagine that's the case. Pittsburgh, who, you know, trades away Pickens, could that be interesting to them? The Chargers in that same division as Denver. The interesting thing is, I really would love to know what Juwan Jennings is after. If I were San Francisco, I'd hate to lose him. Not that I think he's ever going to be their best receiver on this football team, but you have a lot of question marks, right? We don't know how good Ricky Pearsall is yet. And it's not like he entered into, like, he wasn't a lock to be a first rounder, despite the fact they took him in round number 1. We don't know what Ayuk's going to be off the injury. We don't know what Christian McCaffrey's going to be in the receiving game. There's a world that Juwan Jennings ends up 4th on this team in targets, right? There's a world he ends up 1st, though.
That's why I don't think San Francisco should be looking to move him. I understand that he may want a big payday, but having a consistent option in the offense is never a bad thing. People may not like the contract when it's all said and done, whatever he ends up getting paid. But like you said, Ayuk coming off an injury, McCaffrey coming off an injury, they traded away Debo. Pearsall needs to have consistency. Now, there theoretically would be an opportunity for him and Juwan Jennings to be the number 1 and number 2. But, like, we are asking, like, if you know, Ayuk comes back and is healthy, if McCaffrey can be healthy, all these things. So why not just take the thing that you know works and just keep him?
I'm sure that what you just said is probably part of the reason that Juwan Jennings is asking for this contract. Because he's thinking, hey, if they find out, well, Pearsall's much better, Ayuk is still better, McCaffrey's fine, we don't need Juwan Jennings, he's not getting the contract from San Francisco, right?
Sure.
So, it's very difficult to know what Juwan, he's not asking for the contract Garrett Wilson was just given, right?
No.
For perspective. We talked some wide receivers last week when we were together, Tom. The Garrett Wilson contract comes out. My question to you is, Garrett Wilson is still entering into a situation with less than desirable quarterback play, but Garrett Wilson has also put up 1,000 yards in every single season he's played. Is there any reason to think Garrett Wilson won't be a 1,000-yard receiver this year?
I don't. You know, he has done so with, let's just call it, bottom of the barrel QB play. Like, let's just call it what it is over his first 3 years. And he's done nothing but put up 1,000 yards in every single season. The touchdowns have been inconsistent. We can agree with that. It was at 14 total for his first 3 years. I mean, that's just because the offense is operating inefficiently. But, and I will note that this contract doesn't kick in for a couple years. It's not starting this year. It doesn't kick in until, I believe, the 2026 season, if I read that correctly. But who in that offense is going to challenge him for target share? At a minimum, Garrett Wilson should have a low of 8 targets. Like, if I went through his game log this time next year, the fewest amount of targets, I should say, should be 8.
Which, at the end of the day, that type of workload, right, which he's enjoyed throughout his whole career, it's hard to imagine. I'm going to ask a question that's going to upset Jets fans, but I'm not really trying to. Justin Fields, closer to the Zach Wilson level of play Wilson was playing with, or Garrett Wilson was playing with, or the Rodgers level of play he was given last year?
I mean, the answer is in the middle, but I would say to the top end, not to the bottom end.
am not sure, man. I am not sure. I don't really I feel for Fields in terms of the situations that he was put in.
Yeah.
The Chicago one was clearly a mess, and then Pittsburgh just refused to give him a chance, despite the fact that Russell Wilson really kind of did Russell Wilson do anything where I was like, wow, what a mistake that they didn't let Fields play the full season? But I don't know, man. There's still some tough Justin Fields games in there.
Yeah.
Rodgers at least found a way to, clean it up statistically. I think the big lift for Garrett Wilson, Tom, right, is the fact that there's just no Devontae Adams situation coming down the pipe.
Absolutely. And I'm just looking at this, briefly, the Jets depth chart. Josh Reynolds, Alan Lazard, again, this is why Garrett Wilson should have at least 8 targets in every single game, and realistically, it should be 10 to 11. He should command a 30 to 34% target share.
I was just about to ask, what is the highest target share in a given season is around what?
Usually it's in the mid 30s for receivers. I can double check that at some point. But when
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp was doing amazing, it's always going to be into the 30s.
I wouldn't say Garrett will lead the league in targets. I think he probably leads the league in target share. We're going to get you the home run derby picks one final time with Tom Vecchio here on Game Time Decisions.
New to casinos and not sure what to play? Well, try Blackjack first. It has a lower house advantage compared to other table games, making it especially player-friendly. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
They're still trying to throw Dalton Knecht's name in trades, and I don't even know if he's viewed as a positive asset still.
And that's a crazy thing. Dalton Knecht, if you look at FanDuel, Dalton Knecht 20-plus points at plus 120. He's giving you no indication that he's that right there. I mean, Kevin, I would be more likely if we knew we were going to get the minutes. Bronny James, 10-plus points at plus 118.
Game Time Decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle. But as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, let's close it out. It's Game Time Decisions here on a Monday night. We have Tom Vecchio around. We'll go through all the picks again one more time for everybody here, home run derby style. Tom, remind the people, what do you like here? Who's going to win this whole thing?
I like Brent Rooker at 10-1 to win it, which is now dropped to 9.5 that I'm seeing. I also like him to make the semis at plus 128. And again, this is simply more of a play, and at least on his outright, is simply a play on the number where I just don't like the fact that we've 3 bunched up at the top. Cal Raleigh deserves to be there, but I just don't like the prices on O'Neal Cruz or James Wood.
Well, Brent Rooker was mentioned also by Rob Donaldson. We also had Rob mention Byron Buxton, who was also mentioned by Andrew Cayley, who also mentioned James Wood. James Wood also mentioned by Sam, Byron Buxton. Let's go through what everybody submitted for tonight. We'll start with Chris. His 4 semifinalists, Cal Raleigh, James Wood, Matt Olson, and Junior Caminero. Junior Caminero, Chris's pick for tonight. Played it at 11-1. The Junior Caminero at last look before everything goes off of the board here. It looks like it's going to be plus 950, so a dropping number for Junior Caminero, who's getting a little bit more love in the market right now. I think you could still certainly, though, find a 10-1. For Sam Yarnell, James Wood, O'Neal Cruz, Junior Caminero, and Matt Olson. Some similarities for these two when it comes to who makes that Final Four. No Cal Raleigh, though, for Sam. He played him to miss the semifinals at plus 210. He's on James Wood to win this whole thing. James Wood, that 4-1 number, mostly gone now, seems to be under that price. AJ, in his Final Four, no James Wood, no Junior Caminero. Makes some room for Jazz Chisholm. Matt Olson, though, makes the cut in all 3 of the Final Four for our guys. Byron Buxton is the pick, though, for AJ. All in all, when it comes to the outright winner. For myself, I have 3 of the 4 slots going to the American League, with those slots belonging to Tom's guy, Brent Rooker, AJ's guy, Byron Buxton, and then my winner, Cal Raleigh. James Wood does make the cut, because I think he is not a bad play within this whole thing. Really the only guy that worries me on Cal Raleigh, who is now up to a plus 330 price in the market, as we're seeing more and more money clearly come in elsewhere against Cal Raleigh, the favorite. That's fine by me. Cal Raleigh's been working on exclusively the home run swing heading into this thing. Month of July, 5 hits, all 5 of them were a home run. Only guy in the field with 30-plus home runs, 14 more home runs than the next closest guy. I understand that he's probably not Barry Bonds, but he has the second most home runs heading into the All-Star break behind, I believe, only Barry Bonds. And I'm getting a number the same as O'Neal Cruz in that 212 batting average, but fun exit velo. I'm going to take the chance, Tom, on Cal Raleigh.
So are you concerned that he said he may be switching sides, hitting lefty and righty?
I am not, because I don't think he's going to Luka Doncic make a mockery of this whole thing. Okay. I think he may do one lefty, the rest righty, or a vice versa. Maybe he'll do half and half, but I don't think it's going to be like an every other thing. It's also timed. There's only so much you can do here if you're Cal Raleigh.
Right. I would be concerned about him, like he does it, one side in round 1, and then he flips the other side. Who did we see?
I'm fine with that.
Adley Rutschman did that, if I remember correctly, a couple years ago. That could mess up his swing. I want him locked in on one side. If I were to be betting on him, I would just want him locked in on one side.
Yeah, I hear that. I also think, assuming Cal Raleigh makes the semifinals, I think at that point, all right, I got to do what's best for me to win this, right? Yeah. So I think he will be putting his best foot forward. Tom, we did this for the Derby. You have a no chance for me, guy? Absolutely no chance to win this whole thing?
No, I don't. I think these are all. It's a good lefty park. I mean, Jazz is the easy, but I think Caminero is. Would not make it to the semis. Is the way to put it. I just don't think he's going to do it.
That's a good one, Tom. I'm not in on this Junior Caminero. I don't really like Matt Olson, because Matt Olson wasn't really supposed to be here. There's no prep work from Matt Olson. You know what I mean? Okay. So I feel like he's here because he has to be. Marshawn Lynch style.
He's the only one that's been in it, though. He's the only one that's ever been in a home run derby.
And I think that's why he's like, I've done it before. It's fine. It won't mess up my swing. Don't you worry about it. Tom, we appreciate it. Home Run Derby in-game live is next.